Stupidity is a more dangerous enemy of the good than malice, by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was a German theologian who spoke out against the Nazi regime and was therefore executed in 1945 by the Nazis. Before he was executed, he spent roughly 2 years in prison writing different letters and papers, one of them titled On Stupidity, in which he discusses his own theory of stupidity. He saw so much evil in his life, and still he concluded that stupidity is more dangerous to the good than evil. Why is that? Let's look at Bonhoeffer's theory of stupidity to answer exactly that. This much is certain, that it is, in essence, not an intellectual defect, but a human one. They are human beings who are of remarkably agile intellect, yet stupid, and others who are intellectually quite dull, yet anything but stupid. Stupidity has, according to Bonhoeffer, nothing to do with intellect. The impression one gains is not so much that stupidity is a congenital defect, but that, under certain circumstances, people are made stupid, or that they allow this to happen to them. We note further that people who have isolated themselves from others, or who live in solitude, manifest this defect less frequently than individuals or groups of people inclined or condemned to sociability. And so it would seem that stupidity is perhaps less a psychological than a sociological problem. Stupidity doesn't come from the inside, like from the intellect or something like that, but rather from the outside, and we can let it in. Upon closer observation, it becomes apparent that every strong upsurge of power in the public sphere, be it of a political or a religious nature, infects a large part of humankind with stupidity. Bonhoeffer lived through the beginnings and ends of the Nazi regime and saw them rise to power. This rise to power, or when a political party or like a religious party or whatever, or like a movement or an ideology, rise to power, that can cause the infection of many people with stupidity. In Bonhoeffer's own words, the power of the one needs the stupidity of the other. The process at work here is not that particular human capacities, for instance the intellect, suddenly atrophy or fail. Instead, it seems that, under the overwhelming impact of rising power, humans are deprived of their inner independence and, more or less consciously, give up establishing an autonomous position towards the emerging circumstances. The fact that the stupid person is often stubborn must not blind us to the fact that he is not independent. In conversation with him, one virtually feels that one is dealing not at all with him as a person, but with slogans, catchwords, and the like that have taken possession of him. So basically, what happens is when a group or a movement, so to speak, gets to a lot of power, people give up their own autonomous opinion and instead adopt the opinions, ideas, or ideologies from that movement or from this bigger group they happen to be in, for example. In my opinion, I think often happens is that we rationalize, or people who tend to get into the group or into the movement, rationalize the movement's values, ideologies, ideas to adopt them easier, like they rationalize them as good, or like they try to connect them with their own values, even if in reality this is probably not even possible, but they will just change their own values and adapting them so the group values and their own values fit together. Because it is much easier to follow along, of course, a group instead of saying independent-minded. Because first, we are not being judged by the majority we are in, and second, we use less energy to think, because we just think what all people around us are thinking, and therefore we save a lot of energy by not thinking. Having thus become a mindless tool, the stupid person will also be capable of any evil and at the same time incapable of seeing that it is evil. This answers partially our initial question of why stupidity is more dangerous to the good than evil. When a person, as Bonhoeffer puts it, becomes a mindless tool or is made stupid, this person is capable of an evil action without even seeing that it is doing an evil action. Ideas and ideologies can so control this person that this person loses all sense of reality. Now, this was the one partial answer to our question from before. Another partial answer we find in the characteristic or the differences between evil and stupidity, which we will look at now. One may protest against evil. It can be exposed and, if need be, prevented by use of force. Evil always carries within itself the germ of its own subversion, in that it leaves behind in human beings at least a sense of unease. Evil is, so to speak, attackable in one way or another. On top, the person who does evil is often accompanied by a feeling of unease, which could be guilt, shame, etc. Against stupidity, we are defenseless. Neither protest nor the use of force accomplish anything here. Reason fall on deaf ears. Facts that contradict one's prejudgment simply need to be not believed. And when facts are irrefutable, they are just pushed aside as inconsequential, as incidental. Here we find the other part of the answer. Stupidity isn't really attackable. We can't reason against it because the facts are ignored, even if those are extremely obvious facts. Summarizing the answer to the question, why is stupidity more dangerous to the good than evil? First, the stupid person is capable of similar evil actions as the evil person, without even being aware of his or her evil action. Second, The stupid person feels probably not even guilt or shame, or any feeling of doing a wrong, non-ethical thing, which even evil people get. Third, it's difficult to attack stupidity. Reasoning is useless, facts are ignored. Let's now explore practical ways to keep our inner independence. Yet, at this very point, it becomes quite clear that only an act of liberation, not instruction, can overcome stupidity. Here we must come to terms with the fact that in most cases a genuine internal liberation becomes possible only when external liberation has preceded it. Until then, we must abandon all attempts to convince a stupid person. What I interpret out of his words is, in order to free a person from stupidity, or like in general also like from a captivating, soul-sucking ideology, so to speak, we have to first get rid of the external oppressors. And then we can free this person. Or actually in general, this person has to more or less free him or herself from the inside out. The word of the Bible, that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, declares that the internal liberation of human beings to live the responsible life before God is the only genuine way to overcome stupidity. But these thoughts about stupidity also offer consolation in that they utterly forbid us to consider the majority of people to be stupid in every circumstance. One way to internal liberation, or probably the way, according to Bonhoeffer, is to live a responsible life before God. I interpret Bonhoeffer that when there is this extremely strong external oppressor, that many people get ultimately made stupid. I think it's in every person's responsibility to be morally strong, at least to try to, and to be not easily swayed away by some external oppressors. Of course, this is now super easy to talk about and extremely hard to do. I can believe that is now really, I'm just talking about it and I'm not in danger of getting some ideology at the moment. So it's really easy to talk about, but I hope this for myself. And when I'm in the position where some ideology wants to take over my mind, so to speak, or some, let's say, bad idea wants to take over my mind, that I'm strong enough to resist it or stay independent-minded. As I said, it's easy to talk about now. Much harder to do it in this situation. When you want to give some feedback on Bonhoeffer's opinion, or sometimes I give also my own opinion, just let me know in the comments. When you have something to add, when you have something to criticize, when you have something to discuss in a, let's say, normal way, then we can really just go in a discussion in the comments, or let me just in general know what are your opinions. I'm really interested in that. Those ideas now mentioned are not based on Bonhoeffer, but on my own research. First is prevention. Don't get in any ideological movement or their ideas and put them so much in your head that you see everything through the pink glasses from that ideology. Another thing I think should be avoided is extremely intense ideology, because it cabbages up one's mind. And if you are young, it's easy to drift into loyalties, and when you announce that you are a loyal member and you start shouting the orthodox ideology out, what you're doing is pounding it in, and you're gradually ruining your mind. By Charlie Munger. Second, don't fall for confirmation bias, which is only looking for confirming information that supports our theory, idea, or belief. Look for disconfirming evidence for people who are not your opinion. Third, we do not have to have an opinion on everything. It is okay not to have one. It feels like we have to have an opinion on just everything. The smartest people I know when to say I don't know, or just having no opinion. If you don't have an opinion, resist the pressure to have one. By Nassim Taleb. Fourth, being open-minded. Learn to think and live for yourself. And I hope that this video, and also in general this videos on this channel, try to help you with that. You can, or maybe even should, question the ideas in this video, making up your own mind. Someone who got a different take on stupidity than Bonhoeffer was Carlo Cipolla, who wrote his book The Basic Laws of Human Stupidity. However, in the end he came to the similar conclusion as Bonhoeffer, that stupidity is more dangerous than evil. So when you're interested in Cipolla's view on stupidity and his basic laws of human stupidity, feel free to watch this video. When you're in general interested in watching more on stupidity, there's Hanlon's Razor. Now, thank you so much for watching this video today, and I hope I could deliver the message from Bonhoeffer on stupidity, and also we should try to not be made stupid. As always, I wish you a fantastic day.